Armour, and of Braeburn.
Appaloosa.
And, last but certainly not least, Tabitha St. Germain. Voice of Rarity, Luna, and Philomena. I like what you got in your hair there.
Thank you.
That's pretty. That's pretty.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to start off by just reminding the crowd as well that she has created a meme. The look, there's a moose. It's everywhere. There's a car outside that his sign. Look, there's a moose with a nice big picture. I was just shown a picture from Dusty of a moose. It's starting to happen. And my poor guy from Equestrian Inquirer, LTT Moose, has been bombarded with it. Mostly by me.
Oh.
There you go. So, could you pass me? So great. So I want to ask first a very, very broad general question for the whole group, and I figure we can just go down the line with this, which is, how do you, see, it's a very broad general question, so I have to reword it properly. How did you first get over your fear of speaking publicly? Because I know as a speech coach, this is something that I've worked on with my students quite a bit, but I wanted to hear how you guys have done it as performers.
Well, in my case, I've done speaking for some time, but through workshops. I do a lot of workshopping. I've spoken at trade forums and things like that. So I'm used to being in front of a group of you and teaching a lot of people. And in the old casting, directing days as well, I would work with a lot of the actors as well. So I've got used to being in front of people. And also as actors, too, we can't be inhibited for a lot of the characters that we do. So you get used to doing that after time.
I think because I started when I was so young, 6. When I was that age, I just had no fear whatsoever. I just would go to an audition or go do it, and nothing. I would do anything. So it actually crept in a little bit later, where I started to get a little bit nervous. But you just have to take a deep breath and say, I can do this, and then just go for it.
And picture everybody in underwear.
In undies.
What?
Okay. It was grade 7. We had a teacher, some music. We had a teacher that wanted us to write 100-word compositions and then read them in front of the class, and I was utterly terrified. But then I wrote something that one of the popular kids thought was funny. And then I've wanted attention ever since. And so, but then, like Andrea says, it does still creep in sometimes, and you do find yourself, depending on the situation, you do find yourself even still nervous. And you do just have to find a way to take a breath and move through it. And, I just find that it's just like having a conversation. It's people are people, and here we are. So hi.
And everybody's got underpants on.
Underpants.
He's clothed. I think
third row, fourth from the edge.
Except Andrew.
Not wearing underpants. I can tell.
The technical aspect of that is it's called going commando. Dr. Francis.
Once you
a gate crasher.
I think there he is. There's the toka.
Do you notice that Lee has his own mane? Turn around, Lee. Lee, turn around so they can see the back of your head. See? You've got a mane.
Lee Tokar, voice of Snips and Stephen Magnet. How are you doing?
Very good. How are you guys? In a word, I am fabulous.
Well, so, Andrew...
I was going to say, when you find out how big of weirdos that we work with, like we're a bunch of weirdos, right? So when you realize that we're all super weird...
About?
You mostly. You lose your inhibitions, right? So you know that, everybody else is just as weird as you, and so you can just do what you want to do. And I think that's a huge step.
I know what you're talking about. We are totally normal.
Okay, weirdo.
Yeah, it's totally normal. Yeah.
as the only not weird person, I just feel confident on a level that I can't even describe. I picture myself walking down the street, alone, hair blowing in the wind. Nothing. I think it was actually the wind was in my head. Nothing. Sorry. Carry on, as you were. I answered that really well, didn't I?
Yeah, that was slick.
Awesome.
Well thought out.
Because if you can't make an error because you always make errors, then there's no errors. And
I think that's a good lesson, too, that Tabitha just brought up, is that sometimes you have to be willing to make a mistake in front of a giant crowd of international people.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, I actually think that was actually something that Tabitha brought up in an interview I did with her, and she said, you know, you have to have, I think you worded it as glorious mistakes.
Glorious mistakes.
And I think it's really true. It really is.
And
I think if the... So,
You go.
no,
I said, I'm just saying.
I think,
Sometimes you find...
Hey, by the way, like, say it, don't spray it.
I was gonna
Gold.
say.
Oh.
Niece.
I was promised this would be a professional
What I
panel.
was going to know, it's wretched. It's for something in the afternoon. It's all unraveling. But I was going to say, if the possibility for failure doesn't exist, I don't think it's worth doing. That's me.
That's very good.
You have to fail big. Fail big.
We like drama.
Did you have something else there, Peter? Okay.
That was what I was going to say, but different.
Oh.
Lee, did you want to answer the question?
Oh no, that was sufficient. Okay. That was good. Yeah, I'll wait for my moment to shine, but that was pretty good right there.
Well, and I think one thing that I work with, I have
Thanks, a pant load.
I coach high school speech, and I coach high school speech. I'm trying to speak here.
Sorry.
No. I coach high school speech, and I have a lot of students who, when they go into it, are really nervous right ahead. And I know I've mentioned this in a few of the interviews I've done for EFR, but you know, I have students named Joey and Trevor and Eva who actually are all bronies as well. Found that out later. That was interesting. But they, one thing I told them when they started going into public address speech is that I look at interaction with an audience as more of a symbiotic sort of thing. I think most people in an audience, maybe this audience excluded, want you to succeed. They want you to be able to, you know, to do your job well. And that when you keep that in mind, that instead of looking at it, thank you, instead of looking at it as an oppositional sort of relationship, that they're there to judge you negatively, that it kind of, for me at least, that helped me overcome, you know, any kind of fear of speaking to a group of people. Because most of you are people, I think.
There's a couple aliens out there. I can see 'em.
I think there are a few moose or mises out there.
Look, a meese.
Well, you know, next I wanted to ask you guys a little bit about some of the more technical aspects of developing characters, because in a sense, you can't just up and have a character happen. I mean, there are a lot of elements to the characterizations that you guys do. I mean, for example, Andrea, in your case, Pinkie Pie is rather squeaky. And I mean, or for that matter, Snips has a certain kind of gravelly tone to his
Something.
Yeah. And I wanted to know, how do you guys practice those sorts of elements, and what sorts of elements for you have been the most important in developing this kind of character? I mean, I almost imagine that when you're at home developing a character, you just kind of, Lee, for example, you might spend some time just going, you know, making that kind of noise.
Well, it depends on what the character sides are, what the description of the character is that we get. We get the sides, and sometimes they have a picture, so you can sort of judge by the picture kind of whether he's big and large or small and little, and sometimes it's funny to make a great big voice come out of a little tiny character, you know, sort of like Roger Rabbit, the baby, hey Toots, you know, that sort of, you know, hey, yeah, you know, that sort of thing. So, and that's the dichotomy of that. But I mean, logistically, there's like a graph almost of You have your archetypes. Are you a hero? Are you a damsel? Are you a jock? Are you are you a mathy kind of person? And then you have an age range. And then are you male or female, young or old? What kind of dialect? What kind of what region of the world are you from? What kind of do you hiccup when you talk? Do you sneeze?
What sort of underpants are you wearing?
What sort of underpants are you wearing? Are they tight?
Please
are they
don't
loose?
make that a meme.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch
You
of
just
different
asked for them not to make a meme?
Yeah.
That's how you make a meme.
Okay, please make it a meme. Sorry, Lee.
Too late.
Now we have the "This is not a meme" meme.
This is not a meme.
I know. Right?
Oh, dear.
I think a big thing too when you're coming up with a voice is that when you're sitting in front of the description, you're trying to come up with it. You come up with a voice really fast, but you have to kind of find triggers that bring you back to that voice. Because when you get back into an audition, you're trying to remember what you did, and it was so good when you were sitting in front of the computer. But a lot of times you can't really go back to that place. So a lot of times, you guys will probably be able to back this up, is you find little sort of things that trigger you or bring you back into that
Catchphrase.
spot.
I go a catchphrase. A catchphrase or a laugh.
Yeah.
Any of those things. It's tricks. It's every voice actor has a little bag of tricks, and we pull out of our little bag of tricks one little thing that helps us to get back to where we were.
And one thing I think is really important about that too is that everyone talks about, quote, voices, and it's not just about the sound in the back of your throat or the gravel in your throat or a pitch that's high or low. It's about being the character, being the persona, I call it. Especially when I'm doing boys, I have to embody that I'm the boy. So I don't think I'm Kathy doing boy qualities. I become that, or even if I did a large character, well, she's talking like this and she's got lots of weight on her, see? And what I want to do is just kind of get that weight behind me and just feel it deep down, right? Yeah. Suddenly... So you can be this really big person.
Or you can be really small like this and talk like this. Everybody, and be like this little guy, right? So I see this little guy, he's kind of nervous, right? He talks like that, see?
Maybe he's a little rat or a little mouse or something. But we're doing this all the time because we're embodying it. So it's not just a voice. Everybody thinks they have a voice. But then we have to do physical things. Like
It's a personality.
Like being thrown against walls or falling down hills, right? Or being punched or whatever, right? And
it's different in the head
there
and the stomach.
Yeah.
Okay, so Andrew, what if you were gonna fall 15 stories into this massive... Okay, so Tabitha.
See, now...
Sorry, could you do that again?
I would
fall on your bum?
I would be wearing a parachute, so mine would be like,
But Tabitha, she just fell onto concrete, basically. But what if you fell into a pool of mud, Peter?
On me? On a pool of mud?
Fall into a pool of mud, deep mud. So that determines what we do. Yeah, that's another thing. Andrea just burped, and they go around the room and they just say, "Okay, we need a burp, we need a whistle, we need this, we need that," and we burp, we whistle, we burp, we do strange things. But they go around the room and say, "Can you throw a burp in there?"
Yeah. Wow.
Fake fart.
These things are needed.
Yeah.
Now,
necessary skills.
I can't burp on demand.
Neither can
I burp really.
Yeah.
I do.
can.
Yeah, she's a good burper.
Okay, let's all burp. Who can burp? Starting from go. I can't believe I'm requesting this.
Thank you. Thank you
Tabitha,
so much.
You have been my surrogate burper.
I have. But really, the master on what Kathy was saying is that when you're at the microphone, you're very rarely stationary. Everybody, their body language. Peter is probably the most animated person that there is. Like when you go up to do a character, your whole body's going crazy. Like he's.
I work up a heck of a sweat if
In
I
the-
have
yeah.
not, for, that I can kind
No,
of,
that's stationary.
but, but other things, I can work up a sweat in a session in
The
a
microphone
heartbeat.
starts to cower.
It does.
Like,
It's afraid
Peter's-
of me.
Peter's coming. Peter's coming.
Yeah.
God, hide me, somebody.
Tabitha, I think we're talking about you, though.
Yeah.
Because you're so animated, eh?
But that's the other challenge is you have to do it all silently.
Yeah.
And
Move silently.
Yeah, you have to move
but a lot.
silently, and sometimes you want to stomp your foot. You can't do that.
Yeah,
So
you can't wear
it's
crinkly
weird
clothes.
if you see us in the studio, you're like moving, but only so much, and it's really awkward.
And no crinkly clothes. I was when I first started, I didn't know I was wearing a lot of cellophane-based product. There's a lot of
And your jewelry.
jewelry. Yeah, lots of that. Yeah, you can't do that. Come in eating chips in a bag. Oh, yeah, there's a mic picking that up.
You can't move your script. You have to be very careful moving the pages of your script.
And sometimes when we have to eat food or something, or drink
Sometimes we
water
eat
or
food.
drink liquid in a show, then they'll run in and just throw us a dry cookie that happened to sit in the studio or something, and it's like, here, eat this. And other times we just fake it. Yeah, like Spike in the donuts. I don't even know if I actually ate anything. I can't remember now. But
For a show like that, it's kind of awesome, right? Because you have to fake that your mouth is full.
Oh,
And, I don't know. I kind of
do it
just
like
keep
this,
eating those
too.
especially the bacon and the maple ones in Portland. Whatever. Those are like awesome.
Yeah, I saw Peter's tweet about those. And
I did tweet about those.
well, you know what? I gotta ask then, because see, and you're not supposed to do that either. My technical director likes to yell at me about coughing in the microphone. Well, two questions then. First, do you guys, when you're in the studio, do you have a certain distance from the microphone that you have set in your mind, or do you adjust it as you go? Because I've noticed that, you guys instinctively move right into a specific spot when you're about to speak to the audience here today. I'm wondering if that's just a part of the process, or if that's just kind of a subconscious thing.
Do you guys know Scott McNeil? Yeah. So if there was
Personally,
a distance,
all of you know personally?
very personally.
No, he's-
I learned a lot from Scott, right? And the good and the bad. Because when I do voice, usually I'm like this.
Yeah. So what?
And our director will
is
be
that
like,
the good or the
"Move back."
bad?
But yeah, what you're getting at though is that the quality of your voice changes at different distances. If I wanted to be really loud, I'd move way back from this microphone because you don't need to have that right up in your ear. But if you move right up onto it and touch it, yeah.
Or you can stay the same amount from the microphone and just do one of those stage yells. Hey, I'm in the back, move it over. And instead, back up here. So then you get a lot of room sound too, so you don't want to go too far back.
Yeah.
They say this is a good gauge if you do that.
Yeah,
and you do
a hand's
that.
breadth.
So that's about the right.
This
and if you're-
distance.
yeah.
But the other thing too is it's like you get used to it because it's like when you're playing tennis. When you play tennis, you have like a sweet spot. You
Yeah,
kind of
that's
find
right.
that position for yourself too. And this microphone is pointed up at me, so I am going to be popping quite a bit. Pop. See?
Yeah.
Most of our microphones are positioned this way, so we don't have the problem of popping.
Yeah, you gotta watch your popping P's and your sibilants and your
your
T's.
furry
and
F's.
D's.
Sorry.
Did you say furry? Did you say furry or did you say Furby? Because the furry people live in the forest, and we don't come out from the forest that often because we're fluffy. We don't like it if our tail is too flat. Look at me. Oh, Mr. Peacock, look at me. Oh, I have such big pretty wings.
I have no idea what you were talking about, but it was amazing.
We don't know what she says a lot of times, but she's so cute. Oh, she's so cute.
this is actually right here a great example of something I've heard several times now from in
like a
several
session.
interviews, which is that a lot of the different voice actors have told me, and I think Andrea, you told me this, and I know that Tabitha told me this, that one of the favorite things you guys like to do are those ridiculous noises. Like that's a lot of fun for you guys to do. And I know Tabitha, for example, I bet you guys didn't know this unless if you've heard the interview I did with her, you may have heard this, but she actually voiced Philomena, and she told me that that was one of her favorite characters to do because she was coughing the whole time.
Yeah, that's all.
And so I wanted to know if you guys have a favorite incidental sound to make, or I mean,
I like playing an asthmatic. Yeah, I like an old man asthmatic. It's a good one.
Lee, you played a character, some sort of dog, a wheezy dog at one point. Do you remember that? Something we worked on? Or was it
Oh, I played a couple of wheezy dogs.
wheezy dogs? I remember that.
Yep, yeah.
All
He
he
just
did was
went into
wheeze.
his own future.
Yes. Nurse. Nurse. Go to the store and give me another pack of
Hey,
cigarettes.
Sonny, Hey,
Kidding, I don't
Sonny,
smoke. I don't smoke.
you're kind of cute over there.
Sorry about that.
Oh, man.
Time for your meds.
We exhaust ourselves.
You need
Go to the
nap.
store and get Mama some more cigarettes.
While you're at it, get Mommy a pair of pantyhose.
You smell like Mommy's purse.
So anyway,
Not you.
I get this feeling that I could just throw an object or an idea to the group of you, and you could run with it for 20 minutes.
okay, I have an idea. Let's let the audience.
That's a good idea.
Now here's
We're
the
gonna
thing.
we're gonna all ad lib a scene. All of us. So we have no idea what's going to happen here, including me right now. But
But wait
you
a minute,
guys are
so
gonna give
there's
us-
no script? I don't know.
you guys are going to give us like
a...
a setting and a situation, yada yada yada. Okay.
Oh, wait, okay.
So I'm going to narrate
Whose
it
voice
as
is it
Spike,
anyway?
and then they can jump in as they will.
Dear Princess Celestia, we all went to this cool, awesome town called Seattle, and we kind of got into this really bizarre predicament. For example, Rarity got stuck in a bowling alley, and it was kind of awkward. She said,
Look, there's a moose.
Actually, Rarity was supposed to jump in right then.
I was supposed to jump in. Oh, but I don't go to bowling alleys. They're a bit vulgar, aren't they? I mean, there's all these sticky shoes, and who washes them? I think they should all be colored differently. I'd like purple bowls. And
so just at that moment, oopsie, in came Pinkie Pie with an awesome idea.
Rarity, let's go bowling! Let's take the bowling balls! We're gonna go bowling! We're gonna roll as fast as we can! It's gonna be awesome!
I love how Kathy instinctively recoiled.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Then, all of a sudden, from nowhere, Big Mac came in, and he said,
We had to wake him up.
but just at that time, Snips was coming back from a... Snips was coming back from a
Oh my gosh, look at my hooves! I just got a mani pony.
Wow, nice.
Nope.
But at that time, you want style? Guess who walked in? Shining armor.
Twiley.
Appaloosa!
And then I kind of came in because I knew Rarity was there. And,
Oh, Spiky Wikey, there you are, finally. Have you brought me any jewels?
Sure, Rarity. I'll get right to it. Shining armor, what do I do?
Rocks,
Twiley.
rocks.
Like, why do you keep calling Rarity Twiley?
Appaloosa!
But all of a sudden, something went wrong outside, and Fluttershy came whipping in and said,
Yay.
And said what?
Yay. I'm just not sure what went wrong.
And then it got really weird, because a human walked in, and his name was Mike.
What?
What?
Mike said,
Is anybody here gonna bowl? I'm sorry, any pony gonna bowl?
It's funny, I feel the music building. I feel the music coming. I feel the surge arriving. I want to sing a song. Diamonds are forever. Wait. That's not my voice.
and just then, an alien ship landed from above. And the alien said, Tabitha,
One moment, please. Take me to your leader.
and you know what? And, this kind of like really scared Fluttershy like a whole lot, right? But she came in anyway and took care of it and said,
You listen, alien. Just go away.
Okay.
Might also go away. Bye-bye.
Bye. I'm a chicken alien now.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
Anyway, bowling balls are kind of hard to hold in hooves. So we all decided to go outside. But Snips had an awesome idea.
There's this really cool sea monster outside, and we said he'd piggyback us across the lake. But only if we give him another episode.
I think Brayburn agrees. One more episode, please.
I think all you young people should hand over some of the work to the audience. You've been working far too hard. And I think that's an awesome idea. And so now we're going to turn it over to the fans, because I'm sure you have questions about geriatrics.
Or
Is to say if it's all right with Master Mike at the end. Right.
All right. Well, so I think we're going to start doing some audience questions again. Remember that we try to think of questions that are about the process of acting. And there you go. What has been handed here?
Nice,
She
nice.
drew a lovely Rarity Belch.
And I should point out, too, that the whole scene that you guys just enacted there and dragged me into, I would not be surprised if it got animated.
Oh, no.
Good. Hey, if it gets animated, send it to Fanbuilt. Hey.
There we go.
Right? That's what I'm talking about.
That's what it's all about.
There's already 4 fanfics written on it.
All right. So, go ahead.
Oh, can you hear me? I was wondering if there are any other sort of liberal acting sort of things that you need to do, because I know is singing sort of how do I word this? Oh, sorry. Is are any sort of other type of performing arts important in voice acting, like singing or public speaking?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of there's a lot of tricks. Like again, that bag of tricks. A lot of that voice actors, we're used to working between here and here, and like this is kind of the money spot right here. So people that do what we do, a lot of us sing. A lot of us have a history of public speaking, because you got to be able to lay it out there and just say, hey, this is me. And again, failure or no, epic fail or no. I mean, you've just got to go and do it. So a lot of us sing, a lot of us, it's all good. It's all good to keep this in practice. This is like any other muscle. It's, if you got to use it, you got to keep going. So singing, yeah, I think a lot of us sing. A lot of us are very musical. I think there's a musicality to the way we speak. I think that when you say, I'm going to take over the world. I'm going to take over the world. Da, 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 da. There's a natural patter that happens, and I think there's a musicality behind the way you say catchphrases too. So yeah, I think there's a lot of commonality between the disciplines.
I think too, when you do lines like that, you need to ring true to the audience and to yourself, you know what I mean? And so a lot of times when you'll say things, if we go to the second and third take, there's sort of a way, there's like a formula or a kind of a way to sort of put the key in and make it turn. And so you have to sort of find that sort of way of saying it that sort of rings true to people, so that not only you just saying the lines, but it speaks to them past the lines and in a feeling and a vibe and a tone.
I think you just have to make sure that you come to the microphone well projected. You have to have contained energy, because if I just talk to Mike like this, hey Mike, that's really interesting, there's this like great shop up the street. It's microphoned, but it's still weak. So I'm responsible for making it energized no matter what I say.
Yeah, and
that's important.
It's true. And here's a little trick that I do to some of my students, is that it's about the dynamics. What we're doing with our voice is we're taking you and your ears on a journey. So it's true. It is true. So make it exciting. So if you know that the words end with something funny and you want to end that on a high note, make the words or the phrase just before it start a little lower, so you have someplace to go, and then you're someplace up here. And if you're up here, then you may want to bring it back down here a little bit. And when you're down here, you know, hey, here's an idea. So it's always up and down or sideways, but it's a journey. So that's a kind of I don't know. It's a trick that works for me.
And that's actually something interesting that I've noticed about guys and girls doing voice acting, is that it seems like you guys are all gesturing a lot and talking in terms of visual terms. It almost seems like voice acting or doing that is almost a visual art as well.
In many ways, I think really, to get back to your question, that anything that you can do to give yourself another tool to use is useful. No, you don't necessarily have to do anything to get into it, but the more that you do, the more that you expose yourself to other art and to other forms of performance, then yeah, the better off you'll be. Absolutely.
It's true. He's exposed himself to me twice.
Yes.
And
he is so much better for it, I tell you. Okay. Now, here's a little thing of problem. Some of us have to go to the airport.
I warned you.
It's true. And that time is upon us very shortly. So if you have a question...
Thank you for your question.
If you have a question for myself or for Andrew or for Tabitha, I think the three of us have to go fairly immediately. Shout it out now. I can answer.
So terribly sorry. Oh, Peter, why did I ruin his life?
Because of the suit. It's because the man put a machine on a different planet. Did you know that about him?
He works at
NASA.
Got the name LTT Moose. And
Oh, look, here's the moose.
Is that a moose?
yeah, he's the moose.
Oh,
He's the one I was talking about.
The moose.
So let's get another few quick questions in.
Thank you.
Let's get another quick few questions. Go ahead.
Hey guys, this is for everybody. What do you think is the hardest part about getting into the industry and staying there?
That's a big question. You have to have basic skills. You have to have flexibility. You have to be able to take direction well. You have to be gentle with yourself.
Drink with the producers.
You have to have a really good demo. You have to work towards getting a good
You have
agent.
to put your job at the restaurant in order to be available for the calls you'll get.
Yes.
There's a lot of elements, and you
it's a
learn as you
gamble.
go. Yeah, you learn as you go. But you've got to have basic sustained energy, good quality, naturalness in your voice. You have to have a bit of a hard shell because rejection's 50% of it or more.
Yeah.
Or more, yeah.
And you'll learn as you go. But
That was a
be honest
two-part
about your
question,
voice,
though, wasn't
yeah.
it? It was a two-part question. How
Yeah,
do
it
you
was
get
the
in and how do you
getting in and
stay in?
staying.
I think a lot of it is
that answers
luck.
it too.
Luck is a big part to get in, and like Kathy says, is to maintain that energy and all that. I think to stay in, practice. Listen to people on the bus. Steal voices.
I steal so many from Lee. It's
I know,
crazy.
and I've heard them and made them better and redone them,
And then I rereaded them.
and then he redid them, and then Peter took all of them.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Okay, well, before they have to go, I wanted really quickly, Tabitha,
Thank you, you guys. It's been just absolutely
It's been the best
wonderful.
weekend.
I have to
Really
do this
thank
on
you,
behalf of the
guys.
fans.
Thank
Tabitha, can I ask you a huge favor?
Yes, Angel?
I think that a lot of the fans here would love to hear at least one line from Luna before you have to run.
I have to remember.
The night will last forever!
Shameless.
Thank you very much.
Guys, for Peter, Andrew, and Tabitha, they have to run right now, so give them a round of applause.
Some of us won't be at the opening ceremonies. I just want to say one last thing, you guys. Thank you so much. Since we're not going to be at the opening ceremonies, those of us that have to rush to the airport. The closing ceremonies. Oh my gosh, there's energy for you gone down. But thank you so much for your support and for coming to the cons. You guys have done an amazing job, all the staff, everyone who's come from all over the world and locally. We can't thank you enough, and we do it for you. So thanks so much.
Oh, you have to run right now? Okay. All right, everybody, Kathy has to run as well. So a round of applause for Kathy Westlock. She's incredible.
We're staying, though. We're gonna stay.
They're figuring out travel arrangements. All right.
Hi, everyone.
And then there were two.
And then there were two.
But you know what?
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Me and Lee.
Only the pony. Ooh, that's a good one, too. Oh, another question. Fine, Kathy Westlock.
Yeah, Kathy.
So a lot of the when you're in a fandom, a lot of the voice acting that comes from the fandom involves imitation of other people's voices. But when you're a voice actor, you're creating your own voice from your own self. I wanted to know what the value of imitation was when you're becoming a voice actor. Is that a valuable thing to be able to do, or is it mostly
Of course. So many times you'll go in and they'll say, we want you to sound exactly like
whomever.
And you just need
Or a
to be able
type.
to draw upon those references and imitate.
Yeah, but you know what? It is always. I find it's always better to come up with your own stuff. But we get asked to do a type. I did a lot of impersonations. I did 15 years of stand-up comedy before I realized I was going to starve if I kept doing that. So, but I have all these impersonations that are never going to get used again. You know, like Marge Simpson. Who's going to want to hear me do Marge Simpson? Homie, there's something about this severed monkey paw that just doesn't settle with me. So I hope that answers your question. Anyway,
It does. Thanks.
Well, hi there, Screwball.
Screwball.
The screener has been
$110
screened.
hug he bought over at the auction.
Yay.
Hi.
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 Still not used to my voice on here. I'm Screwball. I'm with Dusty on the show. I'm the co-host, but whenever I hear my own voice on the show, I instantly turn off. I can't hear my own voice at all. So I was wondering, what is your guys' reaction when you hear your own voice on show?
I hate it.
Yes.
I hate it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like hearing yourself on the answering machine. And then it's not only that, but it's also, oh, really? That's, maybe I could have done this, or I could have, it's always listening and perfecting. But, if you can get past it and listen, then you can critique yourself and grow and try new things. So.
Yeah. Me, I love the sound of my own voice. So when we're in the studio, it's me and Scott McNeil and a couple of us go, can I hear some more me, please? It's like, I'm not hearing enough me. Can we turn up the me? Can someone turn the me up, please? So, in the beginning, I hated the sound of my voice. So I just changed it. Like this voice, this is not my real voice. I haven't heard my real voice. I had actually had it surgically removed. So, I don't know.
It was an exorcism, right?
It was an exorcism. Well, yes, hands to Jesus.
Andrea, I got a follow-up for you.
Thank
though.
you, Screwball.
When you hate the sound of your own voice, I wonder, are you sometimes forced to hear it, and how torturous is that? I mean, in a sense,
all the time. They're like, we're just going to listen back to that 50 times to decide if it was good or not. And then you're like, do 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 do. It's awful.
Yeah.
So how do you view acting for different media? So instead of just television shows, or if like you do an audiobook or any kind of other thing, how do you view that differently, or do you view it differently?
I think every genre has its own particulates. Every genre has its own stylistic ways that you have to approach it. Like it depends on if you're doing it in an accent or not. Like for audiobooks, I've read audiobooks when it's a slight English accent. And I've done documentaries where it sounds like this, and live in the Gobi Desert, this something, and it's all information that starts like this, and for commercials, it's like coming soon, blah blah blah, and coming, next on Blu-ray, and it's, and the movie trailer like coming soon, one voice panel dwindled to 2 at the edge of Seattle. But it really is a different. It depends on what the job is. You change it up. So it's like animation's very high octane, high levels of energy. Golf announcer, not so much. And he's on the green. Hate golf. What?
Andrea, you've actually voiced something that a lot of people don't maybe know that you voiced, which is that you used to voice toys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Still sometimes.
Yep.
Press A. Press B. 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 September. October. December.
Of course, I do have to note that after we interviewed you and you did that little bit of Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy's GPS directions, I have gotten hundreds of emails saying it should be done.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
GPS companies should do
We'll
that.
have to talk to Hasbro.
I just did a toy. Were you on? Did you do a dinosaur train?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We got to do toys on Dinosaur Train, and it was the first time I'd done a toy in a long time. I did Cratoxyrhina, this big shark thing. Hey, I'm Cratoxyrhina. Play with my fin and watch my mouth open and close or something. I don't know what I said, but it was like.
Hello, I got a question. How often do you do voice acting and some different voice impressions?
I think he's asking maybe like how busy is your schedule doing the voice acting, right? Like how much you're doing it? Is that what your question is?
Yes.
Okay.
All the
Because I
time?
used to do impressions.
A lot?
Lots
Well,
lots.
taking over a few, yeah. Like I did, like I know how to do a Yoda voice. I always practice that a lot.
Oh, you mean how many voices do we have in our repertoire? Is that what you mean?
Kind of like that, yeah.
Lee has a gazillion jillion. I counted. And that's the mathematical total.
That's some mathematical term, like
Yeah.
gazillion, Jillian.
Tabitha calls it a Brazilian.
I practice more every year. Like last year, I learned how to do Welsh. But that's the other thing. Like I said earlier, you got, in your bag of tricks, what you got to do, you've got to, if you want to stay in longevity. Kathy Westlake said, high energy and this and that, but it really is practice. And every year I like to learn a couple new voices. I did last year. I learned Welsh by listening to Dylan Thomas reading A Child's Christmas in Wales. Like, one Christmas was so much like another. In those years around the sea town Ghana now. And when I was trying to figure it out, I said, I don't know how to do Welsh. It's so hard. Someone said, just do a bad Punjabi accent. And I was like, what? He said, one Christmas was so much like another. In those years around the sea town Ghana now. It is very true. It's up and down like that, So every year is another couple of accents. This year I'm trying to learn South African, which is very difficult. It's all very clipped. You got to sound like you're kind of up to something, Yeah, like this there. So it's very difficult.
Well, it's a shame that Tabitha had her own because I know she grew up in South Africa.
She's very good, yeah. Yes, she is.
Andrew,
But this one's too humble. She's got loads and loads and loads too. And as she's been getting older, she didn't have them. I've known her since she was really little. She only had really like 5, and they were all really squeaky. Now she's got like at least she's got loads and loads and loads, and you're getting better all the time.
What?
Exactly. She couldn't do that when she was 7.
Andrea, do you have any accents you can show them?
Well, for many, many years I played Madeline, and she sounded like this.
I see you just. I see some people in the audience suddenly recognize that. I think you did, didn't
Sorry,
you?
that was my childhood. Okay, so first let me say what great inspirations you guys are and how much you've improved
Oh,
your show.
thanks.
The show has improved my life.
Thank you.
And secondly, this is my question: if a previously voiceless background pony was given lines in a future episode, and try to refrain from spoilers because I'm waiting for the season 3. What background pony would you want to voice and why?
All of them?
Yes, all of them. Good answer. I can feel the pressure on the roof from Hasbro gods right now.
What is your answer? Answer wisely. Be very careful.
If that voice was a pony, it would be the scariest thing ever.
Yes, a little bit of a little pony.
Hello. What, me? I'm not up to anything. I'm just a cute little pony.
$10. There's gonna be a new pony to
Yep.
that voice.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's not a bet.
Write
That's
some
a
letters
fact.
to the writer. Nice.
Already done.
Yes, Lee Toker as
Creepster pony.
as Sneaky Pony.
Swift Doom.
Sneaky Pie.
What, me?
Sneaky creep.
Hi, I wanted to ask, what would you suggest for someone who wants to be a voice actor, but maybe doesn't have enough resources where they live? Like, you can't really get any professional training without leaving the city, so what would you suggest for that?
Well, I think what's so awesome these days is online. There's just a wealth of knowledge, like things to listen to, and I think it's just listen, and try as many different voices as you can, and listen to something new. Hey, can I work with that? What can I do?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of programs too. Like if you have a computer with GarageBand and you have a USB microphone, that's all you can. That's all you really need for now. And then until you get the resources to get out there. And then there's different like Voices.com and Voice123. There's places to send your demo to send your stuff. So you want to have, take out your notepads classes. Here we are. I'm teaching voiceover for on the mic training, and I recommended to Michael Dangerfield that he bring on Andrea Libman. So we will both be teaching together, actually. Yeah. And if you want to get in, it's basically you want about a 1 minute to a 1 minute 10, not too long, just enough to wow them in the first 10 seconds. And at the end, you say, thank you very much. My name is Lee Toker. This is a small example of some of my voices, and I can be reached at blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Have maybe 4 or 5 or 6 voices that you can maintain for long enough to show that you can maintain through possibly 52 episodes, because that's the dream. Or, but you have to make sure that you can maintain them, because if you get hired for an audition and then they realize you can't really maintain the voice, you'll get fired and never work again, because they spent all that money casting, booking, and everybody's there. So make a demo, make it sound like an old-fashioned cartoon or a radio play. Make it interesting. Don't make it like a list of voices unless it's very interesting. And then send it out to agents. Find out a list of agencies in your local area. Send it out to them. Get critiques. And then get the agents to give you the feedback, and and there you go. Bob's your uncle. That's what my answer is. A kind of pat, but that's what I would do, me personally.
That's a very good impression of Acoustic Brony. I'm just.
Oh, excellent. I don't know.
British.
Thank you.
All right.
Oi. Well, I like it. That's really nice. Nice to have you all here.
Well, all right. I think we've run out of time. So
have we? We're out of time.
We're out of time.
But we're all still here.
I know. Well, they've got this whole closing ceremony.
When's the closing?
It's 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Where is it here?
We have a few minutes.
Well,
how many minutes?
What?
3 minutes? 30 minutes. Yes.
Yes. What, do we have to do a tear down and a setup? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Why can't they just parade across here and say goodbye?
We got to wrap it up. I'm getting the "you're dead" signal.
Okay, wait a minute. I just want to say one thing. I want to say 2 things. Wait, I got 4 things I want to say. So I want to say, on behalf of Andrea Libman, my sister from another mister, we're very happy that you guys came out and that you have given us such a great response. I know especially this one, because she is Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy. She's everything.
Thanks, Lee. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for coming.
I'm only little in this thing, but you are the whole thing.
No, you're big.
No. And I also want to say, please stand by. How many, by show of hands, how many people are going to Canterlot? A couple people.
Canterlot Gardens.
Yeah, Canterlot Gardens. Okay, a couple people. Well, there's going to be live streaming from there too, right?
Yes, there will.
So Mike and I are going to be working behind the scenes to have Fanbuilt do a little bit of a launch that week. So we're going to hopefully have the alpha site up for Fanbuilt. Mm-hmm. Please check it out. Please follow us. And if you're not following me on Twitter, I want to give you 2 reasons why you should. One, because I like it. No, I'm not. Because I'm going to be doing all the announcements of Fanbuilt through that, and it's a social experiment that I'm giving to the world and letting you guys have it. So you guys can do with it what you will, but it's a way for you guys to all have fun together and make cartoons the way cartoons should be made, giving back the power to you. And the other thing is because like we raised the $13,525 for the auction, which I'm very proud of all of you guys for doing that. Very proud. But also, as though to lead by example, and for those people that have followed me on Twitter, they know that I don't believe in media without message. So I don't use it to say, hey, I like chocolate chip cookies today. And
what's wrong with that?
Yeah, nothing's wrong with that. But I don't think I'm that interesting. So I just use it like for every 1,000 new followers I get, I donate 1/10 of that to a new charity that you guys pick. And so now, before I knew how to hashtag, a couple of days ago, Peter New taught me how to hashtag, and then Tara Strong was like, you don't know how to do this? Okay, let me show you how to do this. And then doing the @ sign and stuff. So I was like, I can't get 3,000 followers. I was going to give $300 to the CNIB, to the Institute for the Blind. And then they're like, well, because you don't know what you're doing, it's a hashtag, and they do this. And I'm like, oh, and so I've had 600 new followers since I got here 2 days ago.
I think he deserves well over 600 more.
Yeah, so please follow me at Lee Tokar, and for every new 1,000 people, I might not have a lot of interesting things to say about me, but Fanboat will be interesting, and I'll be retweeting a lot of things, but it's going to go to more charities because
You're
hopefully then
interesting.
I'm not interesting.
You are.
No, not really.
Yeah, you are.
Not really.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Okay, maybe a little.
Anyway, thank you again, you guys. Thank you.
All right, so guys, round of applause. Lee Tokar, Andrea Lemon, and of course I think we need to...
The two that lasted.
The two that lasted
the
and
longest.
Again, more applause for those who had to leave us. Kathy Westluck, Andrew Francis, Peter New, and Tabitha St. Germain.
I'll be the toast of the